in fact, after this break, as it relates to you streaming me live. So make sure you go out and tell a friend. We're gonna have a fun show. And oh, by the way, I've been looking for. I feel safe now. Okay, I feel safe because every year. I mean, I've been doing sports radio for about 15 years. I've been in the broadcast business for 30 years. Now, give you a little update on a little bit about me here in a moment. Those of you who are new. So every year we have Phil Steele on the show. We've had in my previous shows. I've always had Phil Steele on. So I'm trying to reach out to Phil Steele. He has a magazine called Phil Steele College Football Preview. It comes out every year. And of course, you got Athlon, you got Lindy's, you got Sporting News, you got all of these magazines. They're everywhere. The weird thing about it was I couldn't find Phil Steele's anywhere here in Little Rock, at least in the hood. That's a trip. That's another story for another day. But I finally found Phil Steele's magazine. So I feel a lot better about myself this morning. Okay, because now, I mean, because if you go back and you look at Phil Steele, his stuff, he's usually on point all the time. He really is. So that's what we're all about. When I come back, I'm gonna reintroduce myself. I know I started doing the show a few months ago, and I started at 9. But those of you who are new to the show, who may be listening early this morning, I do want to talk to you a little bit about who I am and what I'm going to bring to the table. It's just going to be a different show than what you've got around here. It really is. Yeah, we're going to talk sports, but we're going to talk about some other things as well. And then we'll get into some things and some headlines of sports this morning as well. So, look, welcome to the show. You're listening to the Weekly Sports Magazine on joynetradio.com.
Mississippi Magazine has been involved in Central Arkansas now for 6 years. We are happy to reflect our community on every page of our production. If you'd like to be featured or are interested in advertising, please call us today at 501-563-1499 or 501-413-0143 or visit us online at missladiesmagazine.com.
If you could help a young father attend college, how much money would you be willing to give? 50, 100, $500 maybe? How about just $10? Hi, my name is David W. Coleman, and in conjunction with A Father's Family Affair, we've launched the 100 for 10 to 1K scholarship campaign. We need 100 people to donate $10 to assist a young father with college tuition. Just $10. Go to afathersfamilyaffair.com now to make a tax-deductible donation. Your small tax-deductible gift of $10 could make the difference in a young father furthering his education as opposed to a minimum wage job. Your $10 could make the difference in a young father dropping out or completing his degree for him and his family. Please give to the 100 for 10 to 1K scholarship campaign today. It's just $10. Make that tax-deductible donation at afathersfamilyaffair.com right now.
If you're looking for a place to hold a special birthday or anniversary celebration, graduation party, or wedding reception, or even if you're looking just to have an intimate private dinner, then you should consider Lady K's Place. Lady K's Place is the perfect place to hold your event. Located 303 Phillips Road in North Little Rock in Rose City. For more information and a tour, call 501-765-8481. That's 501-765-8481. Lady K's Place.
Pigskin, check. Round ball, check. Hard ball, check. Hockey puck, check. Burning rubber, check. We got it all on the Weekly Sports page with David Coleman. What else do you need? Did I say food? You can't have sports without food. What kind of show is this again?
A sports show.
Oh, okay. Pass me those riblets.
Yeah, we do have it all, and a whole lot more with me, Dynamic David Coleman, on the Weekly Sports Magazine.
Yeah. I told you we party up in here on Saturday mornings. We're getting started right here on Join It. I'm Dynamic D. By the way, you can go to my Facebook page right now, David W. Coleman, and you can catch the live stream of the weekly sports magazine, the Saturday edition. Yeah. By the way, I will tell you, I am an old school music fanatic, and most of the bumper music will be old school music. So I hope you don't mind about that, okay? Hope that's cool with you. Anyway, you were listening to the weekly sports magazine, as I told you last week or last before the break. Those of you who are new to the show, I'm here every Saturday morning from 8 to 10. I'm here, well, starting this morning, 8 to 10. We thought we'd kick it off this morning. Coming up about 9:20, we're gonna talk to head coach of the Tennessee State Tigers, Rod Reed. And I know you also, well, this is UAPB country. Just be patient. We're getting all of the HBCUs on. All right. So we'll keep you posted on that. You can keep up with the schedule because we will start a schedule here real soon. You can keep up with that beginning probably this week as we start filling up that schedule. So I'll let you know about that as well. If those of you who are new to the show, thinking who I am, look, my name is David Coleman. I grew up here in the Little Rock area. You hear a lot about that as we progress through the months. Played football at Dunbar, Little Rock Central, and went on to play football at Southern Arkansas University. Got injured, decided to move on, moved out of the city and moved to Memphis, got into radio, and the rest is history. I've been doing radio for about 25, 26 years, somewhere in there, quite a long time. And got my first start at WHBQ in Memphis, Tennessee. That's when, and I'll be totally honest with you, I've only done talk radio. I don't do any other radio, so don't call me a DJ. I'm not a DJ. I'm a talk show host. All right. So, and we're real picky about that in this industry when as juxtaposed DJ and talk show host. They're two different people. But anyway, started at WHBQ. By the way, WHBQ was Wayne Martindale, and a lot of famous people came out of that. And I started when talk radio was all in one station. You had liberals, conservatives, you had independents, middle of the roads, all on one station, and they went back to back to back all day long. And I got an opportunity to hone my trade by listening to all of them. By the way, I was also, I guess I did, as an internship, did spin records at WSMS in Memphis, one of the pretty good jazz stations around this area as well. Moved to Nashville, got involved with Nashville Sports Radio, covered the Titans, the Nashville Predators, of course, the SEC, college football and basketball, just the gamut of baseball. So pretty versed in sports. We did a show, myself and Greg Polk, who eventually will be a guest on this show. In fact, if I can get him up, we might get him on this morning. We did a show for about 12 years, Morning Drive in the Nashville market, a pretty successful show. So then, of course, I moved back to Little Rock after about 35 years and decided I wanted to do a show here. I do one on KABF, and then I do one here. And, of course, we're excited about being with JoyNet Radio, simply because I think this is, well, if you look around, this is the future of radio. Certainly there will always be the brick and mortar radio stations, but nowadays, with cars becoming computerized, phones, everything, you can carry JoyNet wherever you want to go. Now, be sure to go out to the Google Play Store or the iPhone store, and you can download the app. And it's pretty cool. I actually did it the other day, and it's pretty cool. You can catch JoyNet everywhere. The format for this station is mainly gospel, but there are shows all day long. Usually from about 9 to 2 during the weekday of talk shows, various genres. So make sure you check it out. There are some other things that are coming down the pike. Hopefully I won't say anything until they've been solidified, but there's some other nice shows that's coming down the pike. So I say all that to introduce myself and kind of introduce this radio station. One other thing I want to say before I go to my next break, and then we're going to get into some sports, because that's why I'm here. All right. Part of the reason that I wanted to join JoyNet was not only because of its station and the future, because I'm a geek. I'll tell you that. I'm a sports geek, but I'm a geek also. So I like technology, and I see the future of where this station is going. But more importantly, I wanted to be a part of Joinet because it is Black owned. And you've heard me speak probably on Bishop Williams' show and other shows about the power, the importance of the dollar. And I think it's important for us to understand that we've got to support our own, and particularly in the communications business. Because if you look around, there aren't many Black owned radio stations anymore. Those who control communications control thought. We've got to be conscious of that. And we've got to support those entities, the few that are left that are Black owned, that are willing to get our points of view out from our perspective, and it not be metered or filtered by the white media. I just wanted to say that. So if you are a business owner, you need to call JC Loves Monday morning and let's get some advertising going on this station, okay? You can advertise on this show, any show across the board. You can sponsor this show. And I'm not saying that for me, but I'm just saying that for all. This station is for everyone. And it's going to be great. Anyway, there you go. I'm going to go out and take another quick break. And when I come back, we're going to get into some sports and we'll see what's going on. Certainly some headlines about around the city as well and the country. It's been pretty interesting, when you say. Don't you just love football season? I certainly do. Back in a moment. Hello. Right now, and just see for yourself. Here's my number, 615-554-0568. You'll talk direct to me. Thanks for streaming, baby. Coleman, and those of you who are out there. Developing your business footprint for the web. 615-554-0568 or go to dynamicpowerpages.com. It's smart, it's innovative, and most importantly, it's not a party, it's a purpose.
Pigskin, check. Round ball, check. Hard ball, check. Hockey puck, check. Burning rubber, check. We got it all on the weekly sports page with David Coleman. What else do you need? Did I say food? Can't have sports without food. What kind of show is this again?
A sports show.
Oh, okay. Pass me those written.
Yeah, we do have it all, and a whole lot more with me, Dynamic David Coleman, on the weekly sports magazine.
Sookie now. Come on, wallflowers. Get off. Stop holding up the wall. Yeah, on a Saturday morning. Yes, we do. It's the weekly sports magazine. I am Dynamic Dave Coleman. We're talking sports. We're here every Saturday morning. Every Saturday morning. I'm having too much fun. Is that what you're saying? I'm sorry. I'll turn it down. I apologize. By the way, welcome to the Hudson family, who is they're headed to Little Rock next week. Yeah, family reunion, that kind of thing. And all the people who are new to Little Rock, who are here for family reunions, I hope you're listening. Take Joinette back where you came from. You can listen from all over the country. That's what's so great about this. Well, as I said, we'll talk a little sports. This is a sports show. But it was fun introducing myself to you and to the new people as well who are listening to the station. Now, a couple of things that I want to talk about and follow up on. Certainly, we talked a lot last week about the Arkansas Razorbacks, who had been arrested for allegedly passing counterfeit bills. Their arraignment comes up on the 24th. They're currently out on $5,000 bond. And by the way, Ja'Cory Williams has gotten into another fracas, from what I understand, since. It's not looking for good for them, but we'll see how that plays out over the weekend. And I told you when I first started the show that I don't do a lot of baseball early in the season. I just don't. It's too many games. It's 162 games, and I don't care about the home run derby. I don't care about the All-Star game. It's just kind of corny to me all the way around. By the way, I don't care about any All-Star games, NFL or NBA for that matter. But anyway, now that we're getting down to crunch time, we got about 2 months to go. Now I'll start talking about baseball. All right. And if those of you who didn't know, I'm a Braves fan. All right. So we'll start talking to baseball. And I'll tell you, back in the day, and I'll be honest, it's pretty interesting to see not Philadelphia, but Pittsburgh. Because back in the day, of course, hey, nostalgia fans, man. Dave Parker, John Candelaria. The boys were bad back in the day. We up family. So I'll talk a little baseball. Of course, good to see the Royals coming back and playing well. There were some huge trades over the weekend. Of course, the trading deadline ended last night at midnight. We're going to talk a little bit about those. We'll give you some updates. I'll pull it up and see. I'm not going to go through all of them because there were so many. And here's the interesting thing about it. These were the most trades that has ever occurred since 1997. That's just how huge it was. So a lot of people are trying to make some moves. And, of course, the interesting team to me is Toronto. Basically 2 games out of the wild card, but went out and spent some money. And the weird thing about it, if you follow baseball, Toronto won it back-to-back 92-93. And did you know football, they say you better enjoy it while you're there because you never know when you're going to get back. And Toronto is a classic example of that. 92-93, they were just the toast of the Major League Baseball world. Won it back-to-back. I think Wassito Gaston was the manager. They have not been back to the playoffs since. Isn't that amazing? They haven't even been to the playoffs, let alone sniff the World Series. That's amazing. So it looks like they're going to try to make a run here. We'll get into their trade updates and some of the other things as well. We are going to talk a little bit this morning about the Brady suspension being upheld by Goodell, and of course the repercussions since, and who said what and why and when. We're going to talk about all that as well. I've got an interesting take on that, and really my take at this point, and it's changed since my Thursday show. But my take on it at this point, just shut up and play football, man. Come on. But we'll talk about that when we come up as well, sometime this morning. Russell Williams finally gets a big contract. He's got, it was like $87 million and it's $60 million guaranteed. You know, he dating Sierra. That fine, sexy. Oh, I'm sorry. This Saturday morning, but I'm just wondering, you know, they're supposed to be celibate, which is a great thing. Nothing wrong with it. Go for it. When you get a $60 million contract, do you get a prize? I'm just asking, okay? I'm just asking. All right, we keep it real on the Weekly Sports Magazine. We'll talk about that as well. Oh, we want to get into Sheldon Richardson. Can't forget about him. You know Sheldon Richardson, defensive tackle for the New York Jets. You know, the guy who was suspended for pot by the league. You know that guy. You've heard about him, right? Well, you know, Sheldon apparently has been caught drag racing a Bentley, 142 miles an hour. Okay. Pulled, I mean, what was he racing? That was the question. Who was he racing? Was he like racing the guy who had souped up his Mazda? Like, who done souped up a Pinto? To put a turbo on a Pinto? That's pretty funny to me, don't you think? But anyway, Sheldon Richardson, he's drag racing in a Bentley. And it's just a stupid story. It is. And apparently the police was chasing him. He ducked into somebody's driveway, turned off the lights, and was hiding from the cops. Well, the dummy, he probably would have gotten away, but when he put the car in park, the dummy did take his foot off the brake lights. So the police were able to find him because of the brake lights. So when they searched the car, of course, when they approached the car and opened it up, it smelled like burning marijuana, the wacky weed. And Sheldon Richardson, of course, what made matters worse, he had a handgun, a loaded handgun. Now the question is, and you know, people say that all the time, but you know, if it's registered, that's not a big deal. Okay, so that's the question. Was it an illegal handgun? Now, for me, if you're Sheldon Richardson, with all the money you make, why are you driving around with an illegal handgun? So if it was legal, I'm not that upset about that. In fact, I'm not upset about that at all. You see people walking in Walmart with guns on their hips nowadays, so which is kind of stupid to me. But you know, to each his own. So that's not a big deal to me. The other little caveat to this story is that Sheldon Richardson had apparently a 12-year-old relative in the car, and we're gonna play the audio from Sheldon Richardson here in a little bit. But you know, you're doing all this stuff, and that's fine. But you got the 12-year-old in the car. Apparently, you had to be smoking weed while the 12-year-old was in the car. And if you weren't, then of course the 12-year-old certainly could smell the weed if the officer could smell the weed. So the question is, how long will he be suspended? That, you know, nowadays when you get suspended from the league, everybody has a debate how long you should be suspended. But it's just a weird story, and it amazes me. And I used to say this a lot when I was in Nashville, because a lot of these athletes get pulled over. A lot of them are out partying. I think what people like about Nashville, because Nashville is used to stars, you know, a lot of country music people, a lot of people don't realize that there are a lot of hip hop, R&B stars that would come through Nashville to record. Because Nashville, other than New York and California, Nashville is the only place that has sophisticated recording studios. They're all up and down Music City Road. So you see a lot of stars, and a lot of things happen in Nashville as it relates to some of these stars, just everyday life. But the weird thing about it, you know, when you cover these guys, these things happen. these things happen. So we'll see. But it's weird, and we're going to talk about it, Sheldon Richardson. And we also did. That reminds me, did Ronda Rousey fight last night? I'll check on that. It's not a big deal. I'm just curious if that things are happening there. We are going to talk about Russell Wilson. Oh, by the way, I'm a big Darren McFadden fan, of course, being here from Little Rock, and of course being a Raider fan. And if you're out streaming the show right now, you can go to David W. Coleman on Facebook and just click the link, and you can see the stream. Or you can go to Google Plus and just look me up, and I'm streaming the show there. But the interesting thing about Darren McFadden, apparently he's injured again. He's got a hamstring problem. Man, I know there are a lot of people who are wondering if Darren McFadden could ever stay healthy, what kind of back he could be. And I'm going to tell you, the Cowboys are depending on him. And it's not looking good if you're a Darren McFadden fan. And, of course, if you're a Cowboy fan. But they say anybody with that offensive line can run behind that offensive line. We are going to get into the Tom Brady thing coming up here in just a little bit. I think it's going to be interesting. You'll get to hear my take on what's happening, and hopefully pretty soon here it's going to be over. So, yeah. Oh, by the way, you can tweet me too. My tweet handle is Ribrub, at Ribrub. That's RIBBRUBB.com. And you can also go out on the Facebook page and check it out as well. I also want to do a shout out to a good friend of mine. And let's see. I want to do a shout out to Kendra Norman, who is a good friend of mine. Let's see. And hope she's having a good day as well. So we'll talk about a lot of that as well. I'm reading texts and stuff as I go. I apologize. Not very good radio. And of course, I don't have a producer. That reminds me, if you're a young man or young lady out there who want to get to the radio business and are interested in producing my radio show and act as an intern, give me a call. That number is 615-554-0568 because we're going to need a producer as this show begins and continues to grow. All right? So let's go out and take another break, and we'll do these often. You get 4 breaks a month or 4 breaks an hour, and we'll take another break. We'll be back in just a moment. I'm going to throw my 2 cents in on the Tom Brady thing, and hopefully this will be the last time I speak of it. All right? And only time I talk about Tom Brady and the Patriots, although I will consider them still cheaters, but the only time I talk about them is during football season. All right, we'll be back in a moment. You're listening to the Weekly Sports Magazine on JoyDadRadio.com.
Hi, I'm Andrea from Sweet Soap, located in the River Market. Are you planning a holiday party and don't want to deal with the fuss of fighting traffic, grocery shopping, and the food preparation? Let Sweet Soap take care of all your holiday needs. Call me at 501-291-9996 and let's discuss your holiday desires. Dinners, cakes, pies, oh my. We promise to tickle your taste buds and your guests will be thrilled. Don't wait till the last minute and miss out. Remember Sweet Soul and be sure to stop by our location in the River Market weekdays to enjoy breakfast and lunch specials. Call me, Andrea, at 501-291-9996 or check out website LittleRockSweetSoul.com. Sweet Soul in the River Market. I will see you there.
Hey friends, let me tell you how I discovered Coleman's Dynamic Rib Rub and learned to bake it, grill it, shake it, oh yeah. I recently planned a family get-together, but my caterer became ill. We had pounds of meat, but nothing for seasoning. I rushed to the grocer and found Coleman's Dynamic Rib Rub, which comes in 2 great flavors, hot and spicy and original, sitting above the meat counter. Took it home, then logged on to ribrub.com for some great recipes. If you've tried Coleman's Dynamic Rib Rub, I don't have to tell you what a hit my ribs, chicken, and burgers were. If you haven't, what are you waiting on? Coleman's Dynamic Rib Rub is not just for grilling. Get one of the convenient flavor seal bags and try it on veggies and snacks. It's a dry marinade, so add a little or a lot, but make sure you add Coleman's Dynamic Rib Rub to whatever you're cooking, and you too will say bake it, grill it, shake it, oh yeah. Log on to ribrub.com and get great recipes and store locations. That's Coleman's Dynamic Rib Rub at ribrub.com.
I know what you're thinking. You want to spice up your taste buds with some yummy, zesty, mouth-watering jerk chicken. Look at that. What about some delicious chicken spaghetti or sizzling jerk flavored ribs? Oh, I almost forgot. The freshly prepared dynamic salad to make you feel airy. If that doesn't make you want to run down to the Jerky's, I don't know what else will. Jerky's, the Rock Sandwich American restaurant located at the corner of Arthur Roosevelt Street in Little Rock. Open every Tuesday through Sunday from 11 to 6 p.m. Jerky's, it's a spicy state of mind.
Pigskin, check. Round ball, check. Hard ball, check. Hockey puck, check. Burning rubber, check. We got it all on the weekly sports page with David Coleman. What else do you need? Did I say food? Can't have sports without food. What kind of show is this again?
A sports show.
Oh, okay. Pass me those written.
Yeah, we do have it all, and a whole lot more with me, Dynamic David Coleman, on the Weekly Sports Magazine.
About your past. I just want.
Yeah, what's happening? I am Dynamic Dave. Welcome back to the Weekly Sports Magazine. If you're streaming the show, yeah, I am sporting an Oakland Raider, Charles Woodson jersey. Yeah, I'm a Raider fan. You got an attitude with that? What you want to do about it? Yeah. I play the best old school music, bumper music as well. So you'll get a lot of that. I am a music fanatic. So I got a lot of that good stuff coming up. All kinds of stuff that you don't hear. I think and eventually one Saturday we're gonna do on Facebook an old school request for bumper music. All right. And we'll play whatever you request on Facebook as my bumper music for the upcoming show. That'll be pretty cool. That'll be a way to get you all involved in the show. All right. By the way, go out and tell somebody and some friends. You are listening to the Weekly Sports Magazine. You can go to joynetradio.com, or you can go to the App Store or the Play Store and download the app. I'm telling you, the app is pretty cute too. Listen to me, big old David Coleman said cute, but it is, and I like it. It's it's neat, compact. So go check that out. You can catch JoyNet throughout the week. Some great gospel programming. Some great gospel music and guests, all kinds of stuff. Just go check out the lineup. It's pretty cool. This is the future of radio. Now, I did promise that I was going to talk a little bit about the Tom Brady situation. Now, I'll be honest with you. On Thursday, on my Thursday afternoon show, I had a total different take. Now more information has come out. How much misinformation is out here about this thing? Now let me get you up to date. Of course, you know about Deflategate, and if you noticed, I've kind of steered away from it all summer. So now it's finally coming to a head. And of course, Tom Brady was suspended for allegedly deflating footballs. Some equipment managers were fired by the New England Patriots because they were party to this deflation of footballs. And of course, Bob Kraft, who was the owner of the New England Patriots, took a penalty of first and fourth round draft pick earlier in the summer. That brings us forward to now. And of course, Brady has wanted to appeal this thing. He did appeal, and the weird thing about it is when you run afoul of the NFL, Goodell is the one who issues the punishment. He's also the person who sets up the appeal, and you listen to him as well. He listens to you as well. Now, you may say that's crazy. It really is, but don't get mad at Goodell. That was actually collectively bargained by the Players Association, so they are the ones that put that in. And here's my take. That's kind of where I'm going with this whole thing. All right, that's kind of where I'm going, because at the end of the day, this is more than about Brady. Okay. So Brady ended up appealing, complained. They wanted to take it to court. They knew they would. The NFL decided that they would beat Brady's team to court, because Brady's team probably would have taken it to Minnesota, because Judge Darren Doty is Apparently, he's an NFL players fan because it seems like every time they have a disagreement, they go to that court. The players typically win. So the NFL decided that they would go to a court that's more friendly in Manhattan because where's the NFL located? So they go to that court to petition the court to say, ask them to uphold their ruling about Tom Brady. Subsequently, Brady's team goes to the Minnesota court a day late, $1 short. The Minnesota judge says, no, we're kicking it back to New York. At that point, the New York judge, the Manhattan judge says, hey, look, you guys need to settle this. Because he basically said this is a bunch of bunk. So he said, it's one of those things, if you've ever been through a divorce, unfortunately I have, the judge will tell you at some point, either y'all settle it or I'm gonna settle it, and you're not gonna like the way I settle it. That's usually pretty good incentive to settle it. So the initial settlement that was offered by the Players Association that Tom Brady would get a fine, he would not face any acrimony as it relates to that he was part of that conspiracy. And the NFL rejected that. And I agree because I think Tom Brady does deserve some games, 4 games. And I know a lot of people have been trying to, juxtapose Tom Brady's suspension to Greg Hardy's suspension. Let's separate that right now because Greg Hardy got 4 games for domestic violence. But what people don't realize, Greg Hardy set out the complete year last year, plus his games were actually 10 games is what the NFL gave them. And when he went to the Minnesota court, they knocked it back to 4 games. All right? So that's why that number is there, but it's insignificant as it relates to the penalty. Had Tom Brady simply participated in the initial investigation, because it was weird. If someone accuses you of something and you have undeniable proof that you weren't involved, then, a lot of times, no, it's not your obligation to prove their case. But sometimes you can keep a bunch of that stuff down. And had Tom Brady said, hey, look, maybe I'd like to be able to grip my balls a little bit more, a little less air, wasn't trying to do anything, malicious. I apologize. They would have been fine and it would have been moved on. Now, here's the thing about that, because any tampering with equipment is a fine. Whether you write another sponsor's name on your cleats, you wear the wrong socks, or anything like that, that's a fine. Equipment on your football is a fine. But because Tom Brady, and here's the interesting thing about it, just a side note, and if you think they're kidding, there is an official that actually sits in the press box with binoculars. And he sits there and he looks at every player when they come out of the locker room to make sure that their equipment, their shoes, their uniform, everything is up to NFL specs. I kid you not. And he's got a walkie-talkie. And he'll call down to the sideline and say, so-and-so, so-and-so. And if needed be, that player will take that towel off, remove that, whatever it is. And of course, he's out of, once he recognizes that you violated the code of dress, boom, the fine is intact. You can't go back up. So any tampering with equipment, you would have gotten a fine. But the point being is that had Brady went ahead and said, hey, look, I did this, it wasn't in intentions, he would have gotten a fine, we would have been over with this. The problem arose in that old saying is that when you lie, now think about it. How many of y'all got the Hot Wheel track for telling lies? You probably wouldn't have got much of it. You probably would have got a little punishment, but it wouldn't have got the Hot Wheel track. Or the extension cord. How many of y'all got that? You go back and look at it, they tell you all the time, it's not what you do a lot of times, it's the cover-up. And that's the problem. It was the cover-up. And had Brady came out early on and said, hey, and then the weird thing about it, and we didn't know this, but apparently Brady destroyed his cell phone the day before he was going in to talk to the investigators. Okay? Now, whether it was malicious or not, it certainly sounds peculiar. You knew that there were some strange emails from the trainers or the equipment men, and you knew they were probably going to ask for your cell phone. Why would you destroy your cell phone? That's just weird to me. Isn't it to you? It's just weird to me. But anyway, so Brady destroys the cell phone. You can't get the text messages. Now you're in hot water. Okay. So when I come back, we're going to talk a little bit more about this. That'll clip the top of the hour. We'll move into the next hour. But I want to finish because I think it's interesting. There's some different takes, and then I'll give you my take, and then we're going to be done with the Brady Deflategate thing. Okay, I promise you, we will. All right. So let's go ahead and take our last break for this hour. You're listening to the Weekly Sports Magazine on KABF 88.3 FM.
Father 10 College, how much money would you be willing to give? $50, $100, $500 maybe? How about just $10? Hi, my name is David W. Coleman, and in conjunction with A Father's Family Affair, we've launched the 100 for 10 to 1K scholarship campaign. We need 100 people to donate $10 to assist a young father with college tuition. Just $10. Go to afathersfamilyaffair.com now to make a tax-deductible donation. Your small tax-deductible gift of $10 could make the difference in a young father furthering his education as opposed to a minimum wage job. Your $10 could make the difference in a young father dropping out or completing his degree for him and his family. Please give to the 100 for 10 to 1K scholarship campaign today. It's just $10. Make that tax-deductible donation at afathersfamilyaffair.com right now.
Ever had a burning sensation in your chest after eating a meal or felt bloated? Diagnosed with acid reflux? Well, part of your problem may be bad food combinations. Sometimes our fast-paced lives cause us to eat on the run. We tend to eat carbohydrates with proteins. Eating high-protein meal and adding a slice of pie for dessert will slow the digestive process and hinder proteins from breaking down. Carbs digest more rapidly, leaving partially digested food, which turns to fat. When selecting meal choices, do not combine sweets with your meal. Always wait at least 3 hours to give your body the opportunity to digest proteins and plant enzymes. If mom's peach cobbler is a must, enjoy it 30 minutes before the meal. Small changes can make a difference in the way you feel and the way your body reacts to the food you eat. This message is brought to you by Hansel's Cooking Baking. 310-829-9778. Change your diet to change your life.
Hey friends, have you checked out dynamicpowerpages.com? It's smart, it's innovative, and most importantly, it's a growing database of up-and-coming businesses ready to serve your consumer needs. Get info on how to make your business a power player and help build a network of like-minded businesses. Stay abreast of upcoming Dynamic Power events, meetings, but most importantly, join this growing national Black business network. Get a power page and become a power player. Network locally and nationally with other business owners across the country. Go to dynamicpowerpages.com right now and just see for yourself. Here's my number, 615-554-0568. You will talk direct to me, David W. Coleman, and we'll begin developing your business footprint for the web. 615-554-0568 or go to dynamicpowerpages.com. It's smart, it's innovative, and most importantly, it's not a party, it's a purpose.
Pigskin, check. Round ball, check. Hard ball, check. Hockey puck, check. Burning rubber, check. We got it all on the Weekly Sports page with David Coleman. What else do you need? Did I say food? Can't have sports without food. What kind of show is this again?
A sports show.
Oh, okay. Pass me those ribbons.
Yeah, we do have it all, and a whole lot more with me, Dynamic David Coleman, on the Weekly Sports Magazine.
Yeah. Having a good time. If you're streaming the show, this is Phil Steele's College Football Magazine, the best college football magazine there is. I'm just telling you. You can go ahead and buy all those other ones, but when it comes to national college, Phil Steele is the guy. We're going to try to get him on the show here in the next couple of weeks. I'm Dynamic Dave. You're listening to the Weekly Sports Magazine. Appreciate you joining me. Appreciate you listening. I really do. Spread the word. We're going to be here every Saturday, and you might not ever get rich, but we're going to have some fun trying. How about that? All right. Some of the things that we're going to try. I've got a good friend who does a fantasy sports show, and he's going to be doing this show like on Saturday morning. So we're going to try to steal him periodically. If nothing else, I'll tell you what we can do. If nothing else, we might go ahead and record him. But although I know recording on a fantasy is not really that great, but we can still record him and he can get you some good information. So I'll keep you abreast on that. But just quickly before we go to the top of the hour, we were talking about Tom Brady and some of the craziness that's going on with this thing with the Deflategate. And as I was saying in the last segment, that looks a lot of times if you just tell the truth and move on, you'd be done with this. And I think a lot of the culpability falls with Tom Brady. Now, but really the big thing about this, and the reason the union is really pushing this, is because the union is upset because the commissioner has all of this power, and the power really resides when he's able to discipline. And of course, I mean, if there's an appeals process, what good does it do to be able to go and appeal to the same guy who issued out the punishment? Is he going to change his mind? Not hardly. But this is how the collective bargaining agreement was set up with the Players Association. So the Players Association now, they're upset. So they're trying to change, they're trying to collectively bargain in the courts. That's what this really boils down to, in my opinion. And that's why I'm a little tired of it. Because had you not signed those papers, there's a lot of things that's going on in this new deal now that a lot of players are not happy about. But had you not signed that stuff, you wouldn't be in this position. You really wouldn't. But because you agreed and signed off on all of that stuff, now you're in a little hot water. So, that's how it goes. That's just the way it is. So at the end of the day, this is the Players Association's problem. Now, you're going to have to come to some settlement because apparently this judge in Manhattan is not playing. He's already told them we're going to have 2 settlement conferences, okay, in August. So you better show up and you better be ready to talk. So there's going to be a settlement before the season. And at the end of the day, whether you like it or not, that old saying in Hollywood, just spell my name right. I talked a lot about the NBA, really getting a lot of press up until late July. They like that kind of stuff. And what have we been doing since the Super Bowl? We've been talking about this thing. Now, some people say, well, the NFL don't like this being negative, and they're not. At the end of the day, we're talking NFL, and we're talking NFL year round. That's what these organizations want. Major League Baseball would love to have this. Hockey would love to have this. That's why NFL is king. They print money. And they control the radio stations too, because apparently some of the information early on was leaked to Chris Mortensen, and it was false about the NFL. Remember the 11 out of the 12 footballs that were deflated that they say? That was not correct. But the NFL, who leaked that information? I'm just asking. All right. So that's one down, one to go. You're listening to the Weekly Sports Magazine. I'm Dynamic David Coleman. We're going to take a pause for the calls here at the top of the hour. And when we come back, we're going to talk a little bit more. And, of course, coming up about 9:20, we're expecting a call from Tennessee State Tiger head football coach Rod Reed. Looking forward to that as well. We'll talk to him and to get caught up with my good buddy Rod Reed as we begin to preview HBCUs around the country. All right. Now, you're listening to the Weekly Sports Magazine on the KABF. No, you're not. On JoyNetRadio.com. With DynamicPowerPages.com. We don't just list your business on a website hoping consumers find you. We build you an interactive web page themed for your business, and we advertise nationally. So we send our subscribers to you from all over the country. Already got a website? Well,
That's no problem. You can use your Power Page as a portal to your own business website. Dynamic Power Pages is a growing.
Take a break. We'll be back in a moment.
network. Go to dynamicpowerpages.com today and let's set up a free, that's right, free initial consultation. Small business and short on capital, yeah, we understand. We have a payment plan that will fit any budget. It's happening on dynamicpowerpages.com. Remember, it's not a party, it's a purpose. That's dynamicpowerpages.com.
Hey guys, you're listening to the Weekly Sports Magazine with Dynamic David Coleman.
Come on, Grandpa. Time to go to the family reunion.
I ain't going nowhere. Remember what happened last year?
Yeah, Gramps, we had a great time.
Yeah, and then it started dead in the process.
What are you talking about? There was plenty of food.
There's food that didn't even taste good. Somebody needs to teach that side of the family how to barbecue. Did you send them folks home with dynamic rib rub like I told you?
Yes, Grandpa. After last year, I knew that was the only way we would go fishing.
Hey fans, what? You haven't tried Coleman's Dynamic Rib Rub? It's great for meats, veggies, and snacks. Let your fingers do the walking and log on to ribrub.com. That's RIBBRUBB.com. Then let your mouth do the talking about great recipes and gift ideas. Then you too can bake it, grill it, smoke it. Oh yeah.
If you could help a young father attend college, how much money would you be willing to give? $50, $100, $500 maybe? How about just $10? Hi, my name is David W. Coleman, and in conjunction with A Father's Family Affair, we've launched the 100 for 10 to 1K scholarship campaign. We need 100 people to donate $10 to assist a young father with college tuition. Just $10. Go to afathersfamilyaffair.com now to make a tax-deductible donation. Your small tax-deductible gift of $10 could make the difference in a young father furthering his education as opposed to a minimum wage job. Your $10 could make the difference in a young father dropping out or completing his degree for him and his family. Please give to the 100 for 10 to 1K scholarship campaign today. It's just $10. Make that tax-deductible donation at afathersfamilyaffair.com right now.
LeBron James is the greatest player we've seen this generation.
You have to be careful when you start saying, as though he went as good as mine, or he went as good as man. Every generation did that. You begin to sound like that old man that lives down the street, and every time you walk on his yard, or you even walk by his yard, he's on the porch, and he's got the little crooked finger, he's like, get off my lawn! Get off my lawn!
Join me Saturday mornings at 9 for the Weekly Sports Magazine on JournetRadio.com.
It's time for the Weekly Sports Page with the dynamic David Coleman. Stay tuned for thrills, chills, and yes, steals. Oh yeah, and a whole lot of other great stuff. Call 855-525-5683. Tweet your questions at Dynamic Sports PA or Facebook. Drop a line on Dynamic Weekly Sports Show. Sit back, relax, and groove while Dynamic drops sports in your ear hole. Now here's Dynamic.
Yeah, it's me. It's Dynamic DC, the Weekly Sports Magazine. I'm here every Saturday morning. Be sure to give me a call. The number right now, the phone lines are open, by the way. We've got Coach Rod Reed hopefully coming up here in about 20 minutes. He's the head football coach of the Tennessee State Tigers as we kick off our preview of the HBCU college football upcoming season. 2015, Hut 1, Hut 2. Cheerleaders, bands, smell of popcorn, high steppers, dance team. What? You ever seen the sophisticated ladies at Tennessee State? Love me some black women. Oh, I'm just having fun. It's just so much fun, the football season. It's just so many things that go into having a great season if you follow the sport. And so many of us do. That's why it's so popular. And college football, I mean, high school football, all of that is just great. So looking forward to it. And looking forward to certainly going around the country and talking to many of the HBCUs, and also looking forward to going around Arkansas and talking to many of the hopefully all of I think it's the Great American Conference now here in Arkansas. Back when I was playing, it was the Arkansas Intercollegiate Conference, the AIC as we called it, and very competitive at the time. It got a lot of respect around in other parts of the country as well. So we'll talk to them as well. Of course, we'll cover the big guys, the Big Five, the SEC, the Big Ten, the ACC, the Pac-10, Big 12, all of those people. We'll cover. I guess it's the Big Ten. What do they call it in the Texas conference? I don't know. I'm just thinking. I'm not a big Texas fan, but we'll cover all of that as well. So looking forward to that. I was trying to find the Sheldon Richardson comments, and I apologize, but I'll keep looking for those here in just a moment. But it's if you hadn't heard, Sheldon Richardson, the defensive tackle for the New York Jets, apparently has decided that he was going to be a drag racer in his Bentley. Got caught. I think the disturbing thing about it is having a 12-year-old kid in the car as well, going 142 miles an hour. And people say, well, he could have killed himself. Yeah, he could have. Fortunately, he didn't. And of course, there was a loaded semi-automatic weapon along with the smell of marijuana in the car, along with the 12-year-old. And he had already been suspended. You know, people say, hey, you're throwing your career away. Over the last couple of weeks, we've been seeing how a lot of these guys who are getting rich, who have gotten rich in pro sports and now are broke. Ben Baker is one who apparently, well, they say he had wasted $100 million, and Ben Baker was making some good money back when he was playing in the NBA. And it's kind of sad. He's now training to be a manager at Starbucks. And that is a show topic for another day, and we will talk about that. And we'll be reaching out to hopefully some of these guys. A good friend of mine, Dirty Mason, who played for the Tennessee Titans and the Baltimore Ravens. I'm going to try to get him on to talk a little bit about, because I think Derek has said some of the most candid things about that over the years, not just recently. But we'll talk to him hopefully about that as well. But and I hear people saying, and I heard someone, I was listening to a show, I guess it was yesterday. And it was interesting. A man called in and said, hey, look, well, this is just terrible. How this is what our role models are. No, he's not a role model. And you're going to hear me say this a lot. I know we put our athletes on a pedestal. I know we put our movie stars on a pedestal. And there's nothing wrong with wanting to aspire to achieve the same goals as someone else, to want to be like a Michael Jordan or athlete number one, a movie star number two. There's nothing wrong with that. But I think you kind of make mistakes when you allow those people to be role models for your children. Now, this is just me. I've always said athletes are not the role models for my children. In fact, no famous person is. You know who the role model is for my children? Me. And that should be for every child. Now, certainly there are people that you look at and you say, hey, I want to achieve those heights. But you get on a slippery slope when you start allowing athletes and movie stars to be your role models, and to some extent, preachers and politicians too. Any role modeling should begin in the home. And then you say, see, son, you can achieve that, or you can achieve this. But allowing an athlete to be a role model, you see what occurs. And if you've been following the NFL for the last few years, the NFL has been a mess. Ray Rice, your role model? No. Sheldon Richardson, role model? No. Charles Barkley? No. The list goes Michael Jordan? No. Now, would you like to attain some of the heights that they've attained? Of course. Of course. But would you like that to be your role model? Nah, I don't think I would. Just me. But anyway, we're going to go out and take our first break. We'll be back here in just a moment. You're listening to the weekly sports magazine right here on JoyNetRadio.com.
Antonio.
When you're making $465 million off these student athletes, and all you can come up with is $5,000. John Calipari makes $8 million a year, and his players are going to get $5,000 a year. The majority of these teams were white men and white males and females. Would this be happening? And I would say no, because their families would let it happen. But we're letting our kids get tested.
Join me Saturday mornings at 9 for the Weekly Sports Magazine on JoyNetRadio.com.
Listen.
If you could help a young father attend college, how much money would you be willing to give? $50, $100, $500 maybe? How about just $10? Hi, my name is David W. Coleman, and in conjunction with A Father's Family Affair, we've launched the 100 for 10 to 1K scholarship campaign. We need 100 people to donate $10 to assist a young father with college tuition. Just $10. Go to afathersfamilyaffair.com now to make a tax-deductible donation. Your small tax-deductible gift of $10 could make the difference in a young father furthering his education as opposed to a minimum wage job. Your $10 could make the difference in a young father dropping out or completing his degree for him and his family. Please give to the 100 for 10 to 1K scholarship campaign today. It's just $10. Make that tax-deductible donation at afathersfamilyaffair.com right now.
We are because you are. Mid-Journey Magazine has been involved in Central Arkansas now for 6 years. We are happy to reflect our community on every page of our production. If you'd like to be featured or are interested in advertising, please call us today at 501-563-1499 or 501-413-0143 or visit us online at MissLadyMagazine.com.
Greetings. I am Ken Martin, Senior Pastor of the Greater Archview Baptist Church, where we are experiencing the transformation of God. How excited we are that God is changing us, each one of us, each and every day of our life. The Apostle Paul wrote in Romans 12:1 and 2, that I beseech you therefore, brethren, by the mercy of God, that we present our bodies a living sacrifice, holy and acceptable unto God. And be not conformed to this world, but be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind. And it's here at Greater Archview Baptist Church, we believe that our breakthrough comes when we have a renewed mind. So we challenge you today and encourage you today to spend some time in the Word of God, where you will then start to experience the transformation of God. We encourage you and invite you to join us at the Greater Archview Baptist Church for our 10:45 morning service. Be blessed and have a great day.
Pigskin, check. Round ball, check. Hard ball, check. Hockey puck, check. Burning rubber, check. We got it all on the weekly sports page with David Coleman. What else do you need? Did I say food? Can't have sports without food. What kind of show is this again?
A sports show.
Oh, okay. Pass me those rhythms.
Yeah, we do have it all and a whole lot more with me, Dynamic David Coleman, on the Weekly Sports Magazine.
Welcome back to the Weekly Sports Magazine. I'm Dynamic Dave. Every Saturday, 8 to 10 a.m., we're talking sports right here. Coming up in about, I guess about 5 or 6 minutes. 5 or 6 minutes. We're going to talk to the head football coach of the Tennessee State Tigers. Hope you'll check it out. I think you'll enjoy it. We're reviewing the HBCUs around the country. And of course, I say around the country, mainly HBCUs in the South. But we're going to review all of them over the next couple of weeks. So hopefully you'll check it out, enjoy it as well. And of course, we're going to talk sports and got a lot of other stuff coming up. We're going to talk pro, and we're going to get my good girl Teresa on from, she's the head writer from the AP Sports. Going to get her on as well. She covers a lot of the stuff that comes out of AP comes from Teresa. So we'll get her on and get her taken. In fact, we'll target her probably next week as well. So let's see, we'll equal opportunity. Oh, by the way, I'm really excited about next week as well. We're going to have Rachel Luckett on the show. Now, you're probably wondering who Rachel Luckett is, right? Well, Rachel Luckett does a show here on Join It, and she is also a nutritionist and works at the University of Pine Bluff. And I thought it would be good to get her on because we're getting ready to head into football season. And a lot of young people, a lot of young men out there are going to be out in this heat. And this heat is insufferable, I got to admit. And certainly today's athlete may be a better athlete, but because they've been babied in air conditioning all their lives, they can't stand the heat. So they have to be careful. They're wimps. But what we're going to do is get Rachel on. I'll tell you why I said that. We're going to get Rachel on to talk about, hydrating. And this will be good for anyone who's an athlete, who works out, who runs in this kind of weather, particularly if you're down south. It is hot out there. So you want to make sure that you're doing the right thing. So we're going to talk to Rachel next Saturday about those very same things, about 9:20, somewhere in there. We'll keep you posted on that. So we'll talk to her as well. So this is going to be a well-rounded sports show as we go forward. So I hope you all will make sure you stick and stay and remind people about the show. So those are a couple of things that are going on. But the reason I said they're kind of wimpy these days, some of these kids, when we played, and it's funny, back in the days, we used to walk 20 miles to school in the snow that was 3 feet tall. Well, I'm not going to say all that, but I will say this, that back when we played high school football, we did tour days. I played at Little Rock Central, and we had black helmets. So imagine tour days in 90-degree weather. Yeah, we did it. It was pretty rough, okay? So, and then, of course, when I went to college at SAU, we did 3-a-days. These kids can't handle it. So that's why I said they're kind of wimpy. They're not like us. It was funny because back in the day when we'd be at the house, a lot of us grew up, we didn't have air conditioning. And when you were sitting around the house, we had the windows open with them big box fans. Them box fans have been around a long time. And it was great when you had one of the oscillators that it kind of it went from side to side. That was pretty cool, But it was so funny that when you would get bored, your mom would send you out in the heat or go out there and play. And y'all be out there riding your bike, playing baseball, whatever the case may be. Kids don't do that these days. I mean, I remember back in the day, during the summertime, you drive by a local baseball field, it was always someone on that baseball field playing catch. You might have 8, 9 guys playing baseball, and you could only play one side of the field. So if they hit it to the other side, that was out of bounds. That was a foul. It was crazy. So, yeah, I guess these kids are a little good. So hey, let's go ahead and take our next break, and we're gonna try to get the head coach from the Tennessee State Tigers on, Coach Rod Reed, here in just a moment. You're listening to the Weekly Sports Magazine on JoyNetRadio.com.
Young father, 10 college. How much money would you be willing to give? $50, $100, $500 maybe? How about just $10? Hi, my name is David W. Coleman, and in conjunction with A Father's Family Affair, we've launched the 100 for 10 to 1K scholarship campaign. We need 100 people to donate $10 to assist a young father with college tuition. Just $10. Go to afathersfamilyaffair.com now to make a tax-deductible donation. Your small tax
tax-deductible gift of $10 can make the difference in a young father furthering his education as opposed to a minimum wage job. Your $10 can make the difference in a young father dropping out or completing his degree for him and his family. Please give to the 104 10 to 1K scholarship campaign today.
Join that radio. Hey, Coach, how you doing, man? Hey, good to hear you, man. Hey, we're not on the air yet. We're in the middle of a break, but just wanted to get you on the air. This is my new show. I've moved to Little Rock, back to my hometown. My mom was ill; she's 89, so I've moved back. So I'll be doing a show, and of course I'll be talking to you periodically if that's okay. But we're doing an HBCU a review of all the HBCUs because Pine Bluff is right down the road from us. And of course, I wanted to get you guys involved and so on and so forth. And I'll be coming back and forth to Nashville as well. So I appreciate you coming on the show, and we'll keep you about 10 minutes, and then we'll go from there. Okay. All right, hang on just a moment.
778. Change your diet to change your life.
Hey friends, have you checked out dynamicpowerpages.com? It's smart, it's innovative, and most importantly, it's a growing database of up and coming businesses ready to serve your consumer needs. Get info on how to make your business a power player and help build a network of like-minded businesses. Stay abreast of upcoming Dynamic Power events, meetings, but most importantly, join this growing national Black business network. Get a power page and become a power player. Network locally and nationally with other business owners across the country. Go to dynamicpowerpages.com right now and just see for yourself. Here's my number, 615-554-0568. You'll talk direct to me, David W. Coleman, and we'll begin developing your business footprint for the web. 615-554-0568 or go to dynamicpowerpages.com. It's smart, it's innovative, and most importantly, it's not a party, it's a purpose.
Pigskin, check. Round ball, check. Hard ball, check. Hockey puck, check. Burning rubber, check. We got it all on the weekly sports page with David Coleman. What else do you need? Did I say food? Can't have sports without food. What kind of show is this again?
A sports show.
Oh, okay. Pass me those written.
Yeah, we do have it all, and a whole lot more with me, Dynamic David Coleman, on the weekly sports magazine.
It certainly is. Every Saturday morning, it's the weekly sports magazine. I'm Dynamic Dave. I'm here every Saturday from 8 to 10. We're talking sports. Excited right now to go to the phones and talk to someone who I consider a good friend of mine and someone I think is doing a great job of where he is at the Tennessee State University. He's a head coach, by the way. Upcoming season, John Merritt Classic, of course, the Southern Heritage Classic. And talk a little bit about that and what's going on with the Tigers. Welcome to the show, Coach Rod Reed. Hey, Coach, how you doing? I'm doing fantastic. I appreciate you taking out some time to talk to me this morning about the Tigers. Certainly, a lot of people who are not in this area are certainly familiar with the HBCUs and the Classic. And what is it? A little more than a month? A month and about 4 days. You take on Alabama State in the John Merritt Classic. Talk about how the Tigers have developed over the summer. Well, it's funny as I look at your schedule and right out the bat. I mean, you got a tough schedule coming out the bat. You got the classics with Jackson State and Tennessee State, then Jacksonville State, and at Florida A&M. Three of those first four games, it's going to be a lot of hype around those games. How do you keep a young squad like you described focused on the point at hand, and that's winning football games? Coach, have you named a starter as of yet? And if so, who? Talk a little bit about the depth chart as it relates to quarterback and the running back position. I love that. Coach, I'm not used to you being that frank. Coach, I was looking at your depth chart, and by the way, we're talking to the head football coach of Tennessee State University, Coach Rod Reed. And I was looking at the depth chart, and there's a lot of freshmen on your depth chart. It's just amazing. Now, certainly that means that you've been recruiting your butt off, but still, that's a lot of freshmen on your depth chart. Yeah. Hmm. When do you all first report for the season? You excited? Well, yeah, I know you're in Florida. I'm assuming you're down with your family, right? Oh, I know. Well, here's the thing, Coach. And I was thinking about that. When we used to get you on the show in Nashville, you would come into the studio, and I'm saying to myself, I was looking out the window, and I'm in a high rise on the 17th floor. I was looking for your car to drive up to show up for the show this morning. So, Yeah, they certainly were, and appreciate the time that you spent with us this morning. We're gonna get you back on, and I'll be in Nashville for the John Merritt Classic. Planning to come up and bring a friend and just show off Nashville. I miss the city, miss you guys, but certainly don't miss the Tigers because look, there are a lot of TSU graduates right here in Little Rock who went to TSU. Very good. Go ahead. Hey, I appreciate it, Coach, and hey, we'll definitely get you back on as the season progresses, and enjoy your time off before it gets real serious in the next couple of days. All right, thanks. That's head coach of the Tennessee State Tigers, Coach Rod Reed, up there in Nashville. He that kicks off the beginning of our HBCU preview. We're going to try to get UAPB next week, and also we want to get our Alabama A&M because Tennessee State plays Alabama A&M in a classic. We're going to get all of them. That's just the bottom line on that, and certainly some very kind words from Coach Rod Reed. And when he first got to Nashville, and there are some other questions that I wanted to ask him, but we'll get to those later on because we'll have him back on. But it's being a FCS school. It's tough because all the big conferences get all the pub, and certainly you're right there in Nashville where you got Vanderbilt, you got Tennessee State. A lot of people don't realize Middle Tennessee State is right around the corner as well. It's tough as a HBCU to get publicity. And one of the things that I wanted to do, because I went to a small school, I want to give them some love. And during the time that I was on the WNSR in Nashville, we made sure that we shared the love equally as well. And by the way, Coach is correct, and it's Alabama State, not Alabama A&M. Oh, thank you, Coach. But we'll get them on as well. And we enjoyed it. And Rod Reed is a class guy. I know sometimes people want to judge people based on their record, but and you should in some extent, but sometimes you just need a class guy. And I think for the first time in a long time, his hire steadied the ship, the football ship at the university, at Tennessee State University. And I'm proud to have been associated with that school. Of course, my daughter graduated from Tennessee State University, and my son is he's about to graduate from middle. So I'm all in the Middle Tennessee area, and we got to get some people on from middle as well. So thanks again, head coach Rod Reed from Tennessee State University, and good luck with the John Merritt Classic. And we're going to be there. And in fact, I'll be talking to JC Love about at least me broadcasting live from the John Merritt Classic somehow, some way. If it's nothing more than just the phone, we will do the show because that's a big weekend in Nashville, by the way. I think Middle plays like that Thursday night. I think they play Vanderbilt. I could be wrong, but I know they play. And then Tennessee plays Bowling Green Saturday at Titan Stadium. And then, of course, the John Merritt Classic is Sunday. So I'll get my full share of football that entire weekend for sure. So by the way, the line's open. If you want to give me a call, that number is 855-525-5683. I promise you, when we go to the next break, I'm going to find this Sheldon Richardson stuff, all right? Because it's just kind of crazy. I mean, it's not funny, but it's funny because sometimes you can't stay in prosperity, as the old folks used to say, and you find that these athletes just simply can't stay in prosperity, right? And when we come back, we're going to review some of Phil Steele college football. I have been looking, and if you're online streaming the show, you can go to David W. Coleman on Facebook and see the show live. And I'm showing you the magazine right now. This is Phil Steele College Football. I love this magazine. It is so cool. It gives you stats, Vegas lines, if you're into that kind of stuff. Everything you need to know about college football on all of the major colleges, conferences around the country. This is pretty cool. You want to know about Hawaii? It's in here. You want to know about the Buffalo Bulls? It's in here. it's everything. It's cool. And at one point, he even did well, he doesn't do any of the FCS schools, but look, Raging Cajuns, it's in here. And he breaks down every school the same way. Stats, quarterbacks, linemen, you name it. So we're going to get into this book here in just a moment as well. But when I go to the break, I am going to try to find this Sheldon Richardson thing because it's just too crazy. It's it's fun. I mean, who drag races in a Bentley? Okay. And when we come back as well, I'll tell you the story of me driving 140 miles an hour. Yeah, I did it. Well, let's say this. I wasn't driving. I was a passenger. But I'm going to tell you, it was an exhilarating experience. It's something about guys and fast cars. That's why I'm kind of chuckling. But it wasn't in a Bentley that I was going that fast, of course, but it was still pretty cool. It was just pretty cool. And if you had an opportunity, if you ever seen a Indy race or anything like that, it's something about fast cars. It just really is. So I'm just saying. But anyway, let's do this. Let's go ahead and take a break. And when we come back, I'll hustle and try to find the Sheldon Richardson comments as well. And we're going to talk a little college football when I get back as well. All right. Now, you're listening to the weekly sports magazine on JoyNetRadio.com.
Is growing. Get your business web footprint growing by going with DynamicPowerPages.com. We don't just list your business on a website hoping consumers find you. We build you an interactive web page themed for your business, and we advertise nationally. So we send our subscribers to you from all over the country. Already got a website? Well, that's no problem. You can use your Power Page as a portal to your own business website. Dynamic Power Pages is a growing national Black business network. Go to dynamicpowerpages.com today and let's set up a free, that's right, free initial consultation. Small business and short on capital, yeah, we understand. We have a payment plan that will fit any budget. It's happening on dynamicpowerpages.com. Remember, it's not a party, it's a purpose. That's dynamicpowerpages.com.
Hey guys, you're listening to the Weekly Sports Magazine with Dynamic David Coleman.
Come on, Grandpa. Time to go to the family reunion.
I ain't going nowhere. Remember what happened last year?
Yeah, Gramps, we had a great time.
Yeah, and then it started death in the process.
What are you talking about? There was plenty of food.
That food that didn't even taste good. Somebody needs to teach that side of the family how to barbecue. Did you see them folks go with Dynamic Rip Rub like I told you?
Yes, Grandpa. After last year, I knew that was the only way you would go this year.
Hey fans, what? You haven't tried Coleman's Dynamic Rib Rub? It's great for meats, veggies, and snacks. Let your fingers do the walking and log on to ribrub.com. That's RIBBRUBB.com. Then let your mouth do the talking about great recipes and gift ideas. Then you too can bake it, grill it, smoke it. Oh yeah.
If you could.
It's going to be like having a chance to play the NBA. It's just getting it. understanding he was.
Ain't nothing like the real thing, baby. Ain't nothing like the real.
Yeah, I know. Tell 'em. Yeah. Come on, Tammy, sing it. I'm Dynamic Dave. I'm here on the Weekly Sports Magazine. Hey, I play the best old school bumper music there is, okay? That's just the bottom line on that. Stay tuned for that. I'll tell you what, on the Facebook page, we're going to start doing all request bumper music. Old school. We'll do that here coming up, so stay tuned for that. Hey, if you're somewhere like Atlanta, by the way, want to thank Coach Rod Reed from the Tennessee State Tigers for joining us this morning at 9:20. That's what you missed. You're going to miss a lot of other things if you don't tell someone. Got a lot of great things coming up for the show. I'm telling you, folks, make sure you join us. Coach Reed from Nashville was in, I think, Ocala, Florida, somewhere down there. Rest and relaxation before the big season started. Tigers report this weekend. Of course, pro football has reported this past week. And I'm not talking about the football thing. I'm not going to deal with that at all. We're not going to talk about it. All right. But but we're ready for the kickoff. We're ready for some pad crunching, baby. Some slobber knockers. All that other good stuff. Of course, we're gonna talk a little high school football as well. One of the things I want to find out, and I've said this over and over again, and I said this about a couple of weeks on this show about high school football as it relates to Northwest Arkansas. And I know there's been a lot of money injected into that area. The football facilities up there are off the chain. When I was going to when I was going to Kansas City, we drove through that area going to Kansas City, and from the interstate, you got to see some of the schools. I'm like, wow, that's a nice stadium for that school, and nice school. And certainly there are some pretty decent athletes up there, no ifs, ands, or buts about that. But there are a lot of quarterbacks that are being recruited by the University of Arkansas from Northwest Arkansas. And I hate to say it, probably great young men, no doubt about that, but they're not getting the job done at quarterback. They're simply not. And I think if Arkansas wants to move to that next level, then they are going to have to start recruiting big-time quarterbacks, whether they are in-state or out-of-state. Now, here's what I mean by big-time. You ought to get one every now and then. Now, let's be honest. You're not a Ohio State or a Florida State or some of those big-name schools, but there are enough good quarterbacks around the country that you ought to be able to get one that can lead your team to consecutive championships or close to championships where you're in the hunt. Because obviously you got to have that guy if you don't have athletes to surround him. And Arkansas is not the school that's going to have athletes year in, year out like in Alabama. All right. So the quarterbacks that they've been recruiting out of Northwest Arkansas just aren't fitting the bill. And here's the reason why. Who recruits them other than that? Is that quarterback a good quarterback at another school? Where are they on the depth chart? And then furthermore, do they go on to the next level? And I have to be careful, and we all have to be careful about equating a quarterback's greatness as opposed to college and pro. It's a total different game, folks. It really is. And being able to be an insider on sports in college and pro, it's a total different mindset. It's fun in college. It's a business in pro. And that mindset can affect a lot of people if they're not ready to handle that. So why aren't Arkansas quarterbacks moving on to the next level is one thing. And why aren't other schools recruiting these guys? And even if they transfer, like a Mitch Mustang, who went to USC, I think he played one game. And certainly he was a transfer, but if he was that good, he got all that hype out of Arkansas, but apparently he wasn't that good. He wasn't good enough to start at USC. I'm just saying. So what's my point? Part of the problem is that Arkansas football in Central Arkansas has devolved. How that occurred, I don't know. I've been gone for 35 years. But that's part of the problem. You're not getting the best athletes. And I talked to Coach Register a year ago, and we're going to get him on the show. I talked to him a year ago, and it was it was so surprising that he said there are a lot of kids that could play football that are walking around in the hall, won't play, don't want to play, are not eligible to play. Why is that? Parkview is devastated. You don't hear nothing out of Parkview. And Hall, Little Rock Hall is, wow, what happened at Little Rock Hall? This is metropolitan Little Rock, and you mean to tell me that there is not one school that can compete on a statewide level in the state championships year in and year out? Now, I know North Little Rock has been doing it. Now, when I was playing, North Little Rock was terrible. They never won anything. It was Central, Parkview, Hall. Central, Parkview, Hall. Hall, Parkview, Central. That's how it was. So something has went on here in the Little Rock area, the metropolitan area, that has destroyed high school athletics. And that's sad. Because you complain about these kids not, running the streets, getting in trouble. Well, guess what? One of the best ways to keep them off the street is get them on an athletic football team or baseball team or basketball team. Get them participating in something. Look, let me tell you something. I was hyperactive when I was a kid. This was before all the Ritalin and all the drugs that they're giving kids now. You know what my mom would do? I went from football to basketball to track to summer camp, Boy Scouts, everything. So by the time I would get home in the evening, I'd be so wore out, all I could do was pass out. Now, that's part of the reason I get up. I sleep about 4 to 5 hours every night. I've always done that. I'm good. That's part of my hyperactivity. But my mom kept me busy so that I was so tired that, I ran out of energy. And growing up as a single parent and a young man who had no father, these were some potential role models for me. My head football coaches, my Boy Scout leaders, my CYF leader at church. Now, these were the role models that I talk about now. So it kind of colored my mentality and they kind of guided me in the right direction. So what has happened to Little Rock football? That's my quest for this spring, this fall, is to find that question out and see if we can fix it. And I say we because if you're in the Little Rock, Central Arkansas area, we all have got to fix it. Coaches, schools, I know funding is going to be the number one comment. But Little Rock Central turns out 500 graduates per year. I'm willing to bet you if the Alumni Association at Little Rock Central did what it was supposed to do, and I'm going to get on their butts too. Just think about this. If people just gave $10 a year, a month, you could really do something over there at that school, because Little Rock Central deserves more than what it's getting from the university, from Little Rock, Arkansas. That's the jewel of Arkansas, and it's the jewel of the country. National Register of Historic Places. And their football team ought to be competing every year because they certainly have the athletes. It certainly has the tradition. It ought to be competing every year. And part of the problem is that the Alumni Association has dropped the ball. And if there are Little Rock Central fans out there that are listening, you tell them that I said that. And they can come on this show and we can debate it. Not in an angry way, but we need to solve this problem. And yeah, I'm a little partial because I played for Central, but either way, there are a lot of young people who are walking the streets, and we hear adults complaining all the time. They're walking the streets doing nothing. They go to school, they don't participate. Why? It could be that the Little Rock school system is not wanting them to participate, and it's killing football and athletics in this area, and consequently, it hurts the University of Arkansas. Because if you're not getting the top talent out of the urban metropolitan areas of your state, then you're failing in recruiting. But then you can't blame the Razorbacks because where are they? Many of them are walking the streets. They're walking the streets. They're not carrying a football helmet. Just my 2 cents on that. So my goal here for the next few weeks is to find out, and I'm going to look in a lot of directions, and hopefully someone can give me some credible answers as to why Arkansas football is in Little Rock football is in high school football is in such dire straits. You can't tell me that North Little Rock High has more to offer than Little Rock Central. You just can't tell me that. You can't tell me that with the tradition of Little Rock Central, kids would rather go to North Little Rock High that really has no tradition, but they have some, over a school like Little Rock Central. It makes no sense to me whatsoever. I just want an answer. I may not be able to fix it, but for my benefit, I want to know what has happened. And can it be changed? And even if it can't, I know for a fact that Little Rock Central has the capacity to get on the level that all these other schools are around the state. And that means there's got to be good leadership in the Booster Club over there and the Alumni Association. And as far as what I've seen so far, and I'm just going to be real, the leadership has been terrible. No offense to them personally, but unless it's happening this year, yet I have not heard. Why doesn't Little Rock Central have a radio broadcast? What company would not want to advertise Little Rock Central and its tradition around the country? I'm just asking the questions. I know some of y'all are gonna get mad at me, and I know this will get back to those people over there. And look, I love that school. I want it to be the best. And there's a certain pocket of individuals in this city, from what I've found, who wants to keep Little Rock Central for itself and not share it with other people and get other ideas from other people. That's sad. That's probably why it's in the certain shape that it's in. But we're going to try to solve that. Anyway, we're going to take our last break. You're listening to the Weekly Sports Magazine on Joynet Radio.
Hi, I'm Andrea from Sweet Soul, located in the River Market. Are you planning a holiday party and don't want to deal with the fuss of fighting traffic, grocery shopping, and the food preparation? Let Sweet Soul take care of all your holiday needs. Call me at 501-291-9996 and let's discuss your holiday desires. Dinners, cakes, pies, oh my. We promise to tickle your taste buds and your guests will be thrilled. Don't wait till the last minute and miss out. Remember Sweet Soul and be sure to stop by our location in the River Market weekdays to enjoy breakfast and lunch specials. Call me, Andrea, at 501-291-9996 or check out website littlerocksweetsoul.com. Sweet Soul in the River Market. I will see you there.
Hey friends, let me tell you how I discovered Coleman's Dynamic Rib Rub and learned to bake it, grill it, shake it, oh yeah. I recently planned a family get-together, but my caterer became ill. We had pounds of meat, but nothing for seasoning. I rushed to the grocer and found Coleman's Dynamic Rib Rub, which comes in 2 great flavors, hot and spicy and original, sitting above the meat counter. Took it home, then logged on to ribrub.com for some great recipes. If you've tried Coleman's Dynamic Rib Rub, I don't have to tell you what a hit my ribs, chicken, and burgers were. If you haven't, what are you waiting on? Coleman's Dynamic Rib Rub is not just for grilling. Get one of the convenient or a lot, but make sure you add Coleman's Dynamic Rib Rub to whatever you're cooking, and you too will say bake it, grill it, shake it, oh yeah. Log on to ribrub.com and get great recipes and store locations. That's Coleman's Dynamic Rib Rub at ribrub.com.
I know what you're thinking. You want to spice up your taste buds with some yummy, zesty mouth-watering jerk chicken. Look at that. What about some delicious chicken spaghetti or sizzling jerk flavored ribs? I almost forgot the freshly prepared island salad to make you feel airy. If that doesn't make you want to run down to Jerky's, I don't know what else will. Jerky's, the rock sandwich American restaurant located at 305 Roosevelt Street in Little Rock. Open every Tuesday through Sunday from 11 to 6 p.m. Jerky's, it's a spicy state of mind.
Pigskin, check. Round ball, check. Hard ball, check. Pocket puck, check. Burning rubber, check. We got it all on the Weekly Sports page from David Coleman. What else do you need? Did I say food? Can't have sports without food. What kind of show is this again? A sports show. Oh, okay. And those replays.
Yeah, we do have it all, and a whole lot more with me, Dynamic David Coleman, on the Weekly Sports Magazine.
Yeah. Can't wrap up my new show without a little elements of the universe, a little earth, wind, and fire. Yeah, a little in the stone. I told you I play the best bumper music in sports radio. So stay tuned. We're every Saturday. A great show this morning. I want to thank Kid, football coach for the Tennessee State Tigers, Rod Reed, for joining us. Hey, see, early bird catches the worm. You better get up. Got a lot of great guests coming up next week as well. Be sure to check us out. And make sure you stick and stay with joynetradio.com. Look, you can hear us all over the country. By the way, North Carolina, Georgia, Chicago, Los Angeles. All of those folks have checked in with me this morning. And of course, right in Central Arkansas as well. And you've got a business, want to advertise? This is the place to do it, folks. Great rates, great people, and a great vision. Hey, our people perish because of the lack of vision, just trying to say. But had a great time. Got a lot of great guests coming up next week. We'll talk a lot about those as well. And by the way, hit me up on Facebook, David W. Coleman. There is a Dynamic Weekly Sports page that we'll start pushing a little bit more. I'm going to get a different Twitter handle so that we can simply tweet sports. Because right now my Twitter handle is Ribra, and that's my business. So we're going to separate that so you can tweet me just sports as well. And we're going to update the Facebook page. We're going to do all of that. It's going to be a fun time over the next few weeks right here on the Weekly Sports Magazine and, of course, right here at JoyNet Radio. I want to thank everybody who took a little time this morning to listen to the show. It's been fun. We've got a lot of other stuff coming up. So make sure you stick and stay and don't go away. And as I leave you this morning, I always like to leave you with a thought. You get your freedom by letting your enemy know that you're willing to do anything to get you free. Then, and only then, will you get it. The great Malcolm X. Now have a great day. We'll talk to you next week. And of course, stick around for some great programming for the rest of the day right here on JoyNet Radio.
Thanks for listening to the Weekly Sports page with Dynamic David Coleman.
Nice right. Ice cream. Alert. 654 Jose.
Tune in every Saturday morning from 9 to 10.
96.
Until next week.
JC Loves and the Morning Crew. You know,